And I should be coming live. All right, I've got a surprise live for y'all. Man, hope all is going well, man. You know what it is. It's the Fallon Show here. It's King Dave. Forgive me if you hear a bit of noise in the background. But yeah, I thought I'd just jump on real quick and show you some research that I've been doing really quickly. Well, not really quickly, but so basically, what we touch on here is that well, first of all, I hope all is going well to all my viewers. They're giving you nothing but love, light, and strength in these times. But basically, what we're going to go over to today. So, obviously, on this channel, I go through New Zealand cities. I go through Invercargill, Dunedin, Auckland, Wellington, and show these buildings that we apparently built back in the 1800s. Which there's no way that we built any of it. And then you look across Australia, it's the same thing. Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, wherever you go across there, they were not built by convicts. Those huge palaces that you see were not built by convicts, you know what I mean? And then you go across to Europe, all of those buildings there were not built by who they say they were, they were built by a previous civilization that was well advanced, and that technology is being hidden from us. You know what I mean? Sup, brother Jack? Hope all is well over there, brother. I heart fairies. So basically, what I'm going to show y'all guys tonight is that today, sorry, is that these buildings are all across the world. All of them. These buildings you find are absolutely everywhere. And the reason why they're found everywhere is because they were built by the same civilization, that there was a worldwide civilization that lived in harmony before this current prison world that we're in. And they were living in harmony, and the evidence is in these buildings. Why are these buildings all across the world? In America, in Vietnam, in Cambodia even. They say that they were built by the colonizers as well, but there's just no way. Africa, you know what I mean? That's why all these wars were happening all over the place, World War II and all of that. It was to destroy the evidence of this previous civilization. They obviously couldn't destroy all of it, but over time, you know what I mean? They've just gone about destroying these buildings, destroying the evidence of this previous civilization. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Should be able to hear me. But yeah, it's all getting rid of this previous civilization. So I'm going to go through some pictures now. So these are some crazy photos. Yeah, they're all across the world. That show that these same buildings, you know what I mean, everywhere you go. All right, sounds good. I heart fairies. Nice. Hey, my prayers are with you as well. My prayers are with you as well in your time with what you got going on with your stuff. I read your email, so sending you all the love and light that I can. But look, how about I just share screen? So I'll take you into it. So sorry, fam, hold up. Yeah, so these are some crazy pictures that I'm about to show you guys. Yeah, this was just a little impromptu live. But yeah, all right. So check these photos out here, fam. So we're gonna do some digging. Okay. Now we're gonna go through some pictures. So this here is 1885, a corn palace in Iowa, in America. Look at this place. 1885 was simple tools, hammer and chisel, horse and cart. They were able to build something as ornate as that. It's got all the aerials on top. That's all tech, right? You got these portholes as well. Whatever was there was obviously something inside of these that they took out. So this is worldwide, fam. It's not just here in New Zealand. It's not Australia. It's everywhere that you look. This is 1899 Cliff House in San Francisco. Look at this place. Built right on a cliff. How could they have built something like that? You've got all the tech here, all the aerials there. Yeah, that's San Francisco. That's why you had that San Francisco earthquake that looked like that a bomb had been dropped on it. Look at the San Francisco earthquake. Go look through the footage. That was not no earthquake. They've actually obliterated the whole city. There was some sort of a war. Who knows what happened? And they were destroying the remnants of this worldwide civilization that is absolutely everywhere. This is Africa. This is somewhere in Africa. Sorry, I don't know exactly where, but it's the same buildings you'd find here in New Zealand and Australia. They say that it was the colonizers and this and that. No, it was this previous worldwide civilization. This is in Alaska. Look, mud flood. It's been buried. You got a door down there. What's the door doing underneath ground level there? You see how they've done that? It's been mud flooded. You've got these here. Perfect marble pillars. What? Carved with hammer and chisel as well. You got an aerial on top there. This is in Alaska. Then you've got America again. Look at this. Look how huge these well, whatever they are. Look, you've got statues even on top of them. How are they going to chuck statues up there? How? It's obviously been built by a previous civilization that was very well advanced, a lot more well advanced than the things that we've got now. Forgive the noise in the background. But yeah, look at these places. You know, this is America again at one of the world's fairs. Just look at how intricate these buildings are for the time, back in the 1800s. And then they destroyed them afterwards. So in the narrative, they tell us that they built these and then they immediately destroyed them a couple months after or however long after. Not even that long. You got the copper domes. I mean, does that even look like you're in America there? Does that look like you're in America? And then guess where this is? Where do you think that this place is? Europe, maybe? Rome, what they tell us? This is Auckland. So this is Auckland, New Zealand. Look at this place. How could they have built up any of this stuff here in Auckland? How could the colonizers have done any of this stuff here in Auckland? Auckland Grammar School. Again, you've got, it's been buried here. It's been buried, it's been dug out. You've got this here hiding an aerial. So there's actually an aerial that goes there, but the sky's been completely widened out. Why has the sky been widened out all across the world? In all of these photos, the skies have been widened out across the world. How? This is Auckland Hospital. You're telling me they built a place like this as a hospital? Look how grand it is. And look how overgrown the grass is out here. Look, it looks like a mess. It's just been built. Look, it looks like it's been abandoned there for a couple hundred years. Because they were all built by the same worldwide civilization. That's a hospital here in Auckland. This is Berlin. Look at this place. Berlin, 1920. Look at these domes as far as the eye can see. What are these domes here for? It's all technology. It's all energy gathering. That's what all of this is. They took them over and told us these were churches, you know, these were banks, these were hospitals. That's not what they were. These were all energy gathering places. That's why Berlin was bombed, because they wanted all the evidence of this previous civilization destroyed. Again, Berlin, Germany. Look at this place. Doesn't look far off Auckland, doesn't it? Look, same stuff. Identical. You know what I mean? Identical, and it's in Berlin. Because there was a worldwide civilization that had the technology to do all of this stuff, to build all of this stuff, and that's why it's all across the world. This is Cambodia. You serious? Cambodia. Exact same buildings in Cambodia as well. Got the tech on top. There'll most likely be an aerial sticking out. That's what I mean. It wasn't just Australia, New Zealand, or whatever. It was across the world. You go look at the Vatican. We did not build the Vatican, all right? Look through those buildings. There's no way that we as people could have built any of this. We can't even replicate these buildings today. This is Moscow. It's the same in Moscow. Exact same over there. It's had the religious symbols put in these places, but that they added those. You know what I mean? That these places weren't churches. You know, this is the cathedral here, cathode. You know, it's all energy gathering. This is Ukraine. Look at this in the Ukraine. How could they have built something like that? Look at all the overgrown trees here. All overgrown. And then they built this in the middle of nowhere. How? Who? Where's the materials coming from? In the middle of nowhere. Chicago Federal Building. Same with the Chicago fires. That's why you had this San Francisco earthquake. That's how you've had all these wars in Cambodia and Vietnam. That's why you've had these wars in Africa, Syria. All of these places is because they're trying to destroy the infrastructure of the previous civilization that actually built all of these buildings. They lived peacefully. They didn't fight with each other. That was all brought in by the people who are in control now. Chicago Federal Building again. Look at this place. How could they have built anything like this? Look how huge this place is. No cranes, no nothing like that. Chicago World's Fair. Look at this place. How did they build any of this? And then they destroyed all of it. You telling me that they were going to go out of their way to build something like this in the 1800s and then they've automatically gone and destroyed it not long after? Does that make any sense at all, fanciers? This is China. Same in China. All of these buildings. You know what I mean? Look, as far as the eye can see, this is in China. And this is some town in China, you know? It's all this worldwide civilization. Everything that we've been taught is a lie. Guess where this is? You think it was Berlin, maybe? Somewhere in Europe? Or somewhere in China, looks like it. No, this is Christchurch. This is Christchurch here in New Zealand. The same buildings. They tell us that the colonizers just threw these up all over the place in China, in Chicago, in Ukraine, Cambodia. They say that the colonizers built those, the French colonizers. Come on. They went there and built up stuff like that. Come on. This is Christchurch, exact same buildings. You're going to find all across the world. Again, where do you think this is? Europe somewhere, this is Christchurch as well. Christchurch. The same buildings you'll find all across the world. Everything we've been told about history is a complete lie. This is a church in Moscow. Look, same buildings again. Those same buildings you're going to find all across the world that they slowly went about destroying all of them. Because they don't want us knowing our true history. How they've hidden our history is that, through some sort of black magic, that they're pumping out into the frequencies that's given us some sort of form of amnesia, but it's also through they repopulated the world with children. All right, so there were things like orphan trains, there were baby farms here in New Zealand. There was mass movements of children that they spread out all across the world and taught them a false history. Yeah, now I'll do an episode on that in my next live about how they went about doing all of that they brought all of these children in from all over the place. This is Russia, Russia. Church of St. Mary, Ukraine. Church of the Assumption, Russia. Look at this place. They're all the same sort of buildings. This is New York, 1898, post office. Think to yourself, why would they build a city hall and a post office this intricate, this grand? Why would they do that? Why? Why would they do that? Damascus. This is in Syria. Look at this place. In Syria. How would they have been able to build anything like these in Syria? Damascus. Then you got Dresden, Germany. Look at this place. They look all the same all across the world because they were built by the same people, the same civilization that's being hidden from us in the history books. Dunedin. That's Dunedin here. Same buildings. Dunedin. Look, this is the exchange in Dunedin built back in 1800s. By who? By a couple of scattered European settlers. Some people are talking about slaves. Slaves were brought in from Europe, and they were brought here to New Zealand. Come on, slaves built something like this? You serious? Grand architect slaves, master builder stonemasons that were slaves. Come on, Dunedin railway station. Look at this place. built in the turn of the century, apparently. Look at all the portholes here. All the tech's been taken out. All the tech's been taken out, and it's just prime for reset. Look at this place. Dunedin Railway Station. Dunedin Square. Look. Looks like China. Looks like Cambodia. Exact same buildings. Exact same buildings. Look. Exposition. San Francisco. Same buildings everywhere. Look how intricate the designs are. This is Melbourne. Now we're going into Australia. Federal Coffee Place. Mud flood windows at the bottom here. It's been buried. And then they built the roads on top of it. Look at this place. Mad, isn't it? Melbourne. Same buildings you'll find all over the place. France. Same buildings. Garden Palace, Sydney, 1879, built by convicts. Look at this place. Sydney. No matter where you go across the world. General Post Office and Bank, South Africa. Same. They tell us it's built by the colonizers. Same here in New Zealand, it was built by colonizers. Same in Australia, built by convicts. Africa, built by colonizers. Cambodia, built by colonizers. Come on, where they're getting the materials from? Where they're getting the money to build all of this? Government building in India. Look at this. This is the Great Wall of China. Same thing as well. This is the steepest part of the Great Wall of China. The steepest part. How did they build that? How did the Chinese people build the Great Wall of China like this? They tell us it's because they were building a wall against Mongolia. What, they're going to build a wall like that to protect themselves from an army? How? Steepest part of the China, Great Wall of China. How? Why would they build a wall there? What threat is coming through there? From look at this place. They're barely hanging on. You serious? You telling me they look brick? You know? There. India. Same thing in India. Or built by the British that came into India or wherever. Come on. Look at this place. It's all over the world. Imperial Hotel, Indiana in America. Who built all of that? Same thing as this Imperial Institute, London. Same thing again. Look at all these trees. Look how overgrown it is. Look at this place. Horse and cart, simple tools. Same with this place in India. How are they going to build something like this? How? You've got the energy gathering here. You've got the 4 pillars here and the copper dome in the middle for the energy gathering. Same thing. How could they have built that? This is a church in India. Well, they just rocked up in, a couple missionaries rocked up and built this up. Where's the money coming from? Where's the materials coming from? Where's all of that? Iowa state capital. Iowa state capital. Looking like it's in the middle of London there, or Rome, or whatever they call it. You know what I mean? Iraq. Baghdad. Sorry, this photo is a bit grainy, but it's the same buildings in Iraq. How are you getting these same buildings? You got the pillars here. Baghdad. How are you getting the stuff in Baghdad? Japan. This is Japan. What happened to the samurais and all of that and their history there? What happened to all of that? The samurais chucked these up? The samurais chucked these up like it's nothing. Japan again, bank. That's what I mean. These people, these controllers now, after they wiped out these people, they went around the world, repopulated them with children and taught them a false history. These buildings aren't what they say. This wasn't a bank. It was some sort of a generator, a power generator. All of them were. All of these buildings had access to free energy. It's all being hidden from us. Johannesburg, South Africa, same buildings. Mud flood windows. They've been buried. So this obviously goes down a lot lower. The mud came up from the catastrophic event, and then they built the roads on top of them. This is Kazan, Russia. Kazan, Russia. One sec, fam. Yeah, this is Kazan, Russia. Same buildings all across the world. Look, see how it's been buried? Those go down a lot lower. Those go down a lot lower. Here you've got Calcutta, India again. You think the colonizers and that supposedly of these countries would have had that much money to just start chucking up these buildings again? Calcutta again. This is a writer's building. Look at this place in India. Look at all the people outside here, dragging along carts and dragging along horses. And look, the people are down here. The buildings are all the way up here. How would they have been able to build anything like this? Lake Palace, India. This was built 1700s. How are they going to build something like that in the water? In India. Libya, same thing. Africa. I think Libya is northern Africa, right? Yeah, same thing again. These buildings. Lima, Peru, same thing again. Sorry, it's a bit grainy, but same thing again. All of this Tartarian architecture. Melbourne. Look at this place. Again, the domes. Energy gathering. Got all the aerials here. Sky's been completely widened out. This is the mining exchange in Denver, America. This is the Monroe Palace in Brazil. These buildings are absolutely everywhere. And that's again because they were built by the same civilization, the same worldwide civilization. They were all power stations. They could all use free energy. This is in India again. Look at that place. This is the North Korea hotel. This is a hotel in North Korea. No photos of construction, nothing. It's just a massive building in the middle of that city in North Korea. They call it the Hotel of Doom. Same thing, pumping out some sort of evil frequency, just like the Sky Tower here in Auckland, just like the Beehive in Wellington. They've got these buildings in key locations where they pump out their evil frequencies. This is Winnipeg City Hall. Why would you build something like this as a city hall in Winnipeg? Old post office, Pittsburgh. It's absolutely everywhere, fam. Everywhere you go, mud flood windows. They've just changed them into grates. They've changed the look of them. Look at this place. As a post office in Pittsburgh, a post office. Palace, New Delhi, Paris. Same thing again. Paris Exposition. Same buildings you're going to find everywhere. Same buildings you're going to find in Peru and all over the place. Peru. Back to Peru again. There's no way that they built any of these. The narratives they give for the time frames that they built these buildings doesn't make any sense. It's all lies. Peru again. Lima. Peru. Peru Supreme Court. Who built any of that? Queen Street, Auckland. Looks just the same as anywhere else. Queen's Wharf, Auckland. Look at all these buildings here. We didn't build any of those. All of the photos you see of them being built and all that, they've all been manipulated, because if they had access to free energy before, then they had Photoshop. They could manipulate the photography. They can do all of that. This is the Saigon Central Post Office. Saigon, Vietnam. You're going to build something like that for a post office in Vietnam. St. Myron Church, St. Petersburg, Russia. But look at the weather conditions that they would have had to supposedly build in. You know, Utah, same again. All of this grand architecture. Shanghai. This is Shanghai. This is a bank in Shanghai. Can you see, fam? Is this opening your eyes to the lie that we've been told? Shanghai, bank. Singer Building, New York. No cranes, nothing like that. No cranes. They'll chuck the flag on top as well. Why would you chuck a flag all the way at the top there? Because it wasn't a flagstaff, it was an aerial. It wasn't a flagstaff. Somalia, Africa. You've got archers in Somalia. Mogadishu. Look at that. Supposedly Roman, because they call it Roman, it's Roman, Greco-Roman architecture. No. It was this previous civilization. We call it Tartaria, but Tartaria is just a name for this previous humanity who did actually build all of these buildings, and they built them all across the world. Look how overgrown all the bushes are here. Why would they let the overgrow all the bushes when you've got all this grand architecture all over the place? Doesn't make sense. But that's Somalia, fam. St. Mary's Church, Belarus. Look at all these people down here and look how high this building goes up. Doesn't make sense. St. Paul's Cathedral, London. Most of these buildings I'm showing you, most of them have been destroyed. Why would they destroy these buildings? Why? Because they're getting rid of the evidence of this previous worldwide civilization. But these buildings are everywhere you go. Sturza Palace, Bucharest, Romania. Look at this place. Cannot be replicated today. We can't replicate any of this. This is Sudan, 1885. And they'll say the same thing as well. Oh, built by the colonizers, built by the Brits and the French people that came in. Come on, you serious? Sudan, 1885 hotel. Look, you got all the aerials at the top. Got all these aerials for the free energy because it was a worldwide civilization. The countries that you see now were all just brought in. This is Sudan, Khartoum in Sudan, Africa. You got them in Africa, Sudan. You got Sydney Town Hall. Look at this place. A town hall built by convicts. Damascus. This is the Damascus railway station. Look at this place. In Damascus, Syria. Insane, isn't it? All across the world. Everywhere. This is Damascus University. It looks like it's been abandoned for 100 years, 200 years. It looks like it's been abandoned for years. There's the Damascus railway station again. Look how high the doors are, because this previous humanity was not only much more advanced, but they were giants as well. That's why the doors are so huge wherever you go. Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, India. You got the copper domes here. It's all technology. They say it's because it looks fancy and all of that. Nah, this is all technology. This is Tampa in Florida. Tampa Bay Hotel. You got the copper domes. Got all the tech here. This is a theater in Paris. See how high the doors are? But see, they lowered the doors. They put these bits in here, these half circles, to lower the door. And then they build the stairs up as well to make the doors seem smaller, but they were made for giants. This is Tokyo. Tokyo train station. Look how huge this thing is in Tokyo. Look how big the doors are. See how high the arches are up? Because they were built for giants. Across the world, doesn't matter where you go, train station in Tokyo. That just looks identical to the one in Dunedin. Looks identical to the train station in Dunedin. This is the Vatican. See how high the doors are? Because they were built for giants. Got the pillars. Vatican again. Look how high those doors are. Look how big the door is. All across the world, same thing. This is Venice, 1880s. Look at this place. Oh, well, this is how high the doors were. You see, they've lowered it here and they've brought the steps up. But these were made for giants, not for us. You know what I mean? It was this previous humanity who were giants. Victoria Memorial, Calcutta. Vietnam, 1861. This was built. Vietnam. You see how high it goes? See how high these arches go, and see how they've built this? They've built this part of it to lower the door, to make it look smaller. But it was built for giants. Doesn't matter where you go. Vietnam, 1863 church. 1863 in Vietnam. Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City, theater. Look at this guy standing at the front. Look how basic they're living with these wheels and these carriages. And then you've got this huge, massive theater here, Ho Chi Minh City. Statues here, Ho Chi Minh, Vietnam. Vietnam again, Saigon, Opera House. Oh, well, that's the same building. Same building again, Vietnam Theater, got the aerials on top. See the aerials? It's all tech. It's all free energy tech. You know, when you look at Tesla, Tesla was just a character they invented. You know what I mean? To make it seem, oh yeah, well there was this guy that sort of thought about free energy, but then you know Edison ripped them off and blah blah blah. They didn't invent anything. Tesla and Edison, they didn't invent nothing. Free electricity was being used all over the world by this previous civilization. Got the aerials here, aerials. Got all the tech on the top, the domes. You know, and this is in New York, 1899. New York. Warsaw, Poland. Look at the mud flood windows. See the windows here? They've been buried. They've been buried. The road's been built on top, and they've just redone it, refacaded it. But this is in Warsaw, Poland. Same buildings you're gonna find everywhere. This is Wellington. Same thing. Aerials, copper domes. You know, this building here, they'll probably say, oh, that was the town hall. This one, they'll say, oh, that was the post office. This one is a hotel, blah, blah, blah. That's not what they were. It's not what they were. This is Wellington again. Look at it. Wellington looks identical to Warsaw, Poland. Looks identical to Japan. A worldwide civilization. Crazy, isn't it? That built all of this, and it's been completely hidden from us. Again, Wellington. Same buildings. See how high the arches go up? Because it was built for giants, that's why. Crazy, isn't it? Everywhere you go, New Zealand, Australia, Vietnam, doesn't matter where you go, India, Sudan, Africa, Brazil, Peru, same buildings, you go everywhere. Makes the world seem a bit smaller, doesn't it? Makes the world seem a lot smaller. Everywhere, Utah, Petersburg, Saigon, Queen Street, Auckland, Peru. You know, this Peru. Look at that, Paris. Same architecture everywhere. Winnipeg, Brazil. Crazy, isn't it? Same buildings. Crazy, isn't it? The same buildings built all across the world, and they credit it to the colonizers. New Zealand here, oh, it was the colonizers. Sudan and Somalia over in Africa, oh, it was the colonizers. You know what I mean? The colonizers. Come on, how? Where's the funding even coming from? From gold rushes that happened? Come on, man. Those are fake as well. There weren't no gold rushes. Nothing like that. You see, and how they've gone about how they've gone about hiding all of this is because they repopulated the world with children. Now here's a little bit of evidence on that. I'll just run it up here, fam. Sorry. So this is an example. This is an example of what they did. Hold on, sorry, fam. I'll just bring up a couple things. Right, sorry, fam. So I'm just looking up there. But yeah, how crazy is it, eh? Yeah, NASA, founded by Freemasons and Nazis. You got it, brother. And Jesuits, most likely. One love all, much love, holistic. Yeah, moving all the children to different countries, which would mean none of our heritage or nationality that we thought is true. Yikes, it's crazy. The lie is so elaborate. So elaborate. Look at this guy. The Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church funded many of these structures and buildings. Some people are just I don't know. I don't know how you can see any of these buildings and think that we still built these buildings. It goes over people's heads, you know what I mean? They're just so sucked into the mainframe they can't. It's just crazy, you know? Something, my brother. Um, yeah, I used to believe the narrative of everything relates to Rome and Greece because that's what they say. Oh, we all built these buildings because of Rome's influence, and that everywhere across the world, in Africa, in Sudan, in Southeast Asia, everywhere. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I know at the Canadian Parliament they're doing something, but then that's the thing as well. Most likely that convoy is being led by the government anyway. You know what I mean? It's the same here in New Zealand. Almost the whole freedom movement's controlled by the government. You know what I mean? They just watch, nothing will happen from it. Everyone will go home. Oh, my thing's playing up here a little bit. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, amazing, isn't it? These same buildings all across the world. So I'll go back now. So this was Operation Pied Piper. So this is how they went about changing history, yeah? So Operation Pied Piper, called Operation Pied Piper, millions of people, most of them children, were shipped to rural areas in Britain. So what happened is in 1939, they evacuated. They evacuated the I'll see if I can find it. Operation Pied Piper. So this is what they've done. So look, young Pam and Iris Hobbs were just two of the millions of children in England who were evacuated from cities and towns during World War II in what was dubbed Operation Pied Piper. The mass evacuations were intended to keep British children safe, or safer theoretically, from German air raids while their parents stayed behind to work and help out with war efforts. So what happened was they grabbed forcibly, a lot of them, millions of children in England. They were evacuated. So we know that World War II wasn't what they say it was. It was destroying this previous civilization, the remnants of this previous civilization that built all of these buildings. They were being destroyed. They were getting rid of. And so what they've done here is that they took all of these children, millions. It says here, millions of children were taken. And then what from there, you know what I mean? You've got orphan trains. Trains were shipped. Well, this is in America, but it happened all across the world where children were shipped all across America. Now, they say that these children's parents died in the war and things like that, but then what war though? You know what I mean? Because World War II isn't what they say it was. So then what war was it? Regardless, children were taken and brought up from who knows where, but they were transported all across the world. A supervised welfare program that transported children from crowded eastern cities of the United States to foster homes. So look at all of these children being transported all across the world, millions of children. This is New Zealand. Look at all the New Zealand orphanages. All of these children were brought to New Zealand, Britain, America, and they were taught a false history. Look how many children there are. Look how many children there are all over the place. All over the place. Because even when I look into my history, you know what I mean? My mum's dad, so my great grandfather was an orphan. You know what I mean? So then who knows what happened with him? You know, but these orphans are absolutely everywhere, all over the world. Nelson's orphanage, you know, all the way back in the 1800s, you know, because they say that their parents died in wars and all of this stuff, you know. Look at all these children. All of these children transported across the world. This is Stoke Orphanage in Nelson. And all these buildings are Tartarian as well. You know what I mean? What they're going to build mass, beautifully built buildings like this for a bunch of children, a bunch of orphans. Does that make sense? But look at all the orphans here in New Zealand. All of the orphans all over the place. Look at that. All orphans, all taught a false history. Here's another one here in New Zealand. All of these children transported. You know, and then just from this one alone of the Operation Pied Piper, millions of children. These millions of children would have been transported all across the world. All across the world and taught a false history. You know, all across the world. You know, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. International trafficking goes back hundreds of years. Well, at least the last 200 years before the reset. Exactly. You know what I mean? So they transported all of these children all across the world after the reset, and taught them a false narrative. You know what I mean? Taught them a crap history. You know what I mean? Of colonizers, of being colonized by this and that, and there was World War II. That was this country against that country. All lies, all of it. It was it was a war against this previous humanity, and the people that won that war rewrote history and created this current fucking prison that we find ourselves in, because that's what this is. Exactly. Peasants wouldn't need 5, 6 story high buildings with multiple basements and tunnels. You know what I mean? Why would they? Yeah, exactly. Rice farmers, you know, in China had massive opera buildings. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, I thought I'd just give you guys a breakdown of, you know, across the world, all of this architecture. You know what I mean? Much love, brother. Much love. Rewind the house. Yeah, it's all love, man. But crazy stuff, isn't it? You know, all of these buildings all across the world that we didn't build. And we got to figure out how they did build these buildings. How did they do it? Or some sort of technology, you know, some sort of sound frequency stuff where they were able to manipulate the liquid concrete, liquid stone, liquid marble. They were able to form it into shapes or some sort of sound frequency technology that's being hidden from us. And on top of that, they were giants. You know what I mean? They were a lot bigger than us. Much love for H Town. H Town in the house. Spread the word, fam. You know, spread the word about this, man. Raise the awareness. You know what I mean? Because this is what we need to be talking about. You know what I mean? With all of this other stuff that's going on, it's really, when you got controlled opposition and all of that, really the main thing that they're hiding from the people, whether they realize it or not, is our history. Because they know that once we realize our history is fabricated, everyone will come together then. Even, you know, I got mates that were going on about he whakaputanga and, you know, the Māori stuff here in New Zealand. And now they're waking up to the Tartaria stuff and realizing, shit, we don't know where we've come from. Our history has been completely fabricated. I was the same, you know, I was thinking, you know, I had all this native Māori heritage and this and that. And then I was like, I looked at this stuff and then I go, shit, it's all lies. You know what I mean? How were our people here in New Zealand, the New Zealand native Māori people, how were they living in huts and didn't even have a written language? And then all these buildings were coming up everywhere. What, the colonizers just rocked up and built all of those, like, while they were living in tents and huts for hundreds of years? Like, how does that make any sense? And then you got Japan with all their samurai stuff, and then you've seen the pictures in Tokyo, they got the same stuff there as well. What, the samurais built those? You know what I mean? In China, you got all their kung fu and all of this sort of stuff, and living that way with Buddhists and that. But they got the same buildings as well. What they built those, what the colonizers came there and built them. How did the colonizers build any of that? You know what I mean? Doesn't make it's just messed up. You know what I mean? So yeah, spread the news, fam. You know what I mean? Spread the news. Because again, once we realize that our histories have been completely fabricated, then we're gonna wake up. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, if you guys, because that this is how I know most of the controlled opposition here in New Zealand, because when you show them stuff, they don't want to spread the word, because that's what they're hiding. You know what I mean? Because they know, once they realize our history has been fabricated, once we realize that the construct we're in was completely invented by these Freemasons, by these Jesuits, by these secret societies, every single aspect of it, every single aspect of this world we're in was created by them. Education, um, military, medical, science, science, geology. It was all created by them. You know what I mean? That's why it's so hard to do good in this world. You got all these people with good hearts and that, you know what I mean? With good, that want to go work with the youth, that want to become youth workers and all of that. And then they get in those spaces and it's tough, you know what I mean? It's heartbreaking for them because it's so hard for them to do good in their construct because this is their system. That's why it has to be destroyed. Every single bit of it. We have to get rid of all of it. The whole idea of government, the whole idea that we need people to control us, that's their brainwashing. You know what I mean? That's their brainwashing. Of course, we can live in harmony because the previous humanity was doing it. You know what I mean? If the previous humanity was doing it, there's no such thing as a person being born to do evil. These people in government, you got to realize that they've gone through heinous stuff. The prime ministers and all of that of the world, and now the presidents of the world, they were born and bred for that purpose. They had all the humanity abused out of them and replaced with demonic entities in their sexual ritualistic black magic that they do. You know what I mean? If one of us was in the positions of power that they have, like prime minister and all of that, we wouldn't be able to do what they do because we got a heart. You know what I mean? We got a conscience. We haven't had it abused out of us as children because they go through horrific stuff, absolutely horrific. That's why they've got no conscience. That's why they can do what they do. They're not like us. They involve themselves in rituals involving children, blood sacrifices, things of that nature. They can't be negotiated with. You think you're going to negotiate with people that do things like that? And the thing is, they're taught so well that you could meet them and you would never even know they participate in that sort of stuff because their brains have been fractured into different personalities and they can switch because it's all a science. The abuse that they do, it's all a science. They know when to abuse children. They know when to do it. They know how to do it. They know how to restructure the brain into split personalities. They know how to do all of that stuff. MK Ultra, look into it. It's a science. You know what I mean? And if there has been previous resets, then they've already done all of this. You know what I mean? The thing is, the previous humanity that did build all of these buildings, we don't need. It could have been ages ago. You know what I mean? And then from then, they've just reset, reset, reset. They bring the children in from wherever. They take children. So who knows what's going to happen now? They might start taking the children. With everything that's going on in the world now, they might go, let's take the children. And then they'll take all the children, millions of them, then kill everyone off with 5G or whatever they're going to do, bring the children back and say, there was a world war. You know what I mean? There was a world war and all your parents were unfortunately killed, or some would be given to other families and they would raise them as their own children, to Freemason families, who knows anything like that, and they just do it again. Because eventually everyone will wake up. They know that. They know in this construct they've created, eventually the collective consciousness will come together and we'll start realizing, which is what's happening now, the Great Awakening. We start looking around and realizing, oh shit, we're in a prison right now. Something's not right here. And then boom, switch on the 5G or whatever they're going to do, kill off everyone, bring in the children, take everyone's children, bring back the children, and then just goes on, goes on, goes on. That's why we can't wait around too much longer, fam. You know what I mean? Because don't get it twisted. That's what they got planned for us. You know what I mean? They're going to reset this place, And because there's too many people waking up now. Think about it. There's too many people waking up now for things to ever go back to normal. You know what I mean? Well, things were never normal anyway, but there's too many awake people now. And the thing is, they're being so blatant about it now. A lot of my mates now are finally waking up because in this country, you got to get the booster now. If you want to keep your job, you've got to get the B now. So they're telling people, look, the two first V's, they don't mean anything now. So now people are realizing, oh, something is wrong here. But the thing is, they're being so blatant about it, and there's a reason for it. You know what I mean? What that reason is, though, who knows? But look, fam, I'm gonna head off. Hope you enjoyed the show. Spread the news. Jacinda is a man. Yep, one of the most evil smiles I've ever seen as well. People are demoralized when they realize they're working in an organization doing the opposite of good. Yeah, it's so tough for people, because they're trying to do good in a world that is completely inverted. It's completely upside down. It's pretty fucked up. You know what I mean? It's pretty fucked up. Man of Steel is the fall of Tartaria in your face. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, man, I'm gonna head on out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Thought I'd just jump here and drop some knowledge and whatnot. But look, man, I'll say a quick prayer for us. I could say a quick well, I'm gonna stop calling it prayer because I don't know about that word now. But I'm just gonna give thanks. You know what I mean? So dear Heavenly Father, dear Creator of the heavens and the earth, you go by many names, but there is no name that we can speak that describes who or what you are, but we just give thanks to you. We give thanks for lifting the veil. Please give us the strength and the courage to stand boldly. Please strengthen all of your anointed, all of the people who you have called according to your purpose. Strengthen us, bring us all closer together, and just help us to remember that you dwell in us, that we're just vessels, we're just bags of meat, but it's your spirit in us that gives us life and makes us what we are. Please help us to realize our true power here and the power that we truly hold in each and every one of us. Please watch over everyone watching, all the subscribers, all the followers, all of the people watching this, all of the people who are fighting this fight. Please strengthen each and every one of us. Please keep us safe, and please give us once again the strength to understand the power that dwells within us. And just help us to approach every situation with love, and help us to remember that our war isn't against flesh and blood, but our war is against the principalities, the rulers of darkness. That's who our war is against. So please give us the strength. Thank you so much for listening. All right, fam. Well, I'm going to head on out of here. But man, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Crazy stuff in it. Stay excited, man. Stay dangerous, fam. Stay strong. And we got this, man. We got this all day long. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Peace and love. My heart goes out to every single one of you and your families. May the Most High bless us, keep us, and make his face to shine upon us. Fuck you!